Fall in. What's up, fam of Liberty, and also everyone else watching this video who isn't following our channel for some unknown reason? It's your boy Big Sarge and my cat Mikey. I am the admittedly and proudly foul-mouthed founder of the Sons of Liberty social media organization that's been steadily enraging MAGA fuckface ass clowns since 2015. If you saw us out in the streets at a protest for the first time and or you're new to our channel, I know what you might be thinking, so let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck MAGA traitors. Fuck GOP politicians. Fuck these limp-dick establishment Democrat politicians that aren't out there in the streets fighting for us every day. And also fuck billionaires. These fucking leeches that I call wealth hoarders. They have their fucking boots on the neck of just about every American citizen. Neither this channel nor its comment sections are a safe space for bootlicking simps, for a wannabe king, Russian asset, 34-time convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, Wish.com fascist oligarch, failed insurrectionist, failed businessman who has multiple bankruptcies and failed businesses, a wannabe authoritarian tyrant, a guy who hates cats, self-confessed lover of very young girls, admitted sexual predator, guy who was best friends for over a decade with a convicted pedophile. We all know him as Donald Trump. And now you know where I stand on things, so if you're still here and you're not frantically rage typing into the comments box like a triggered conservative snowflake who's ass mad about the fact that a ginger-bearded Scotsman is more of a patriotic American than you and 10 of your MAGA friends, then maybe consider following the channel after you watch this video and deciding whether or not you like the cut of my jib and my cat Mikey. Fix bayonets! Yesterday's news cycle came out with a whole new host of dumb shit, and chief among them is the government's efforts to continue turning right-wing pundit Charlie Kirk into some sort of martyr and, wait for it, warrior. Among the latest stack of efforts is a plan by a retired general, Anthony Tata, who spells his name like one of my favorite things, tatas. Anyway, Mr. Tata wants to use Charlie Kirk and his Turning Point USA's organization locations into military recruitment tools. Now, before I go into this, it's important for you to know that Charlie Kirk applied to the United States Military Academy at West Point, commonly known simply as West Point. This is the Army's service academy, renowned for producing Army officers. Charlie Kirk applied to West Point in 2012 when he was 18. He was rejected. So he instead chose to enroll at Harper College, a community college in Illinois. He dropped out after a semester and then he was enrolled in another college where he took online classes, but he never got a college degree, which is largely all irrelevant except for the fact that Charlie Kirk was never good enough to get into West Point and he never served in the military. Anyway, the Trump administration, ever so eager to distract the public from the fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files and is doing everything that it can to prevent the Epstein files from ever seeing the light of day, is trying to use Charlie Kirk in every way, shape, form, or fashion. Pentagon leaders, spearheaded by Anthony Tata, a Trump political appointee, are considering a new recruiting campaign that would encourage young people to honor the legacy of assassinated conservative activist Charlie Kirk by joining the military. The idea would be to frame the recruiting campaign as a national call to service. Possible slogans that Pentagon leaders have discussed include, "Charlie has awakened a generation of warriors." As part of this potential campaign, Pentagon leaders are considering using chapters of Kirk's political organization, Turning Point USA, at schools across the United States as a military recruitment center. That could include inviting recruiters to be present at events or advertising for the military at those chapters. Now, it's also worth noting that the idea is facing resistance from some Pentagon leaders who have privately warned those who are working on the effort that this campaign could be perceived as the military trying to capitalize on Kirk's death. This push is an effort to stop the decline of military recruits. The Pentagon believes that 7 to 11% of Americans see military service as a viable path forward, down from 27% after 9/11. Hey, here's an idea. How about fix the fucking military so it's not a complete joke? And before a bunch of triggered vet bros get up in my comments or some 20-year-old private first class jumps in my comments, let's fucking be clear here. Y'all motherfuckers know just as well as I do that the military's leadership is often toxic, selfish, and just like the Republicans in governments, not at all interested in leading. Every last goddamn one of us knows half a dozen bad leaders at a minimum. We've seen bad policies, we've seen railroadings, we've seen Blue Falcons, we've seen incompetent leaders. Social media is littered with countless pages and groups that are devoted to outing and roasting bad leaders, whether it's awesome shit my drill sergeant said, the now defunct page awesome shit my first sergeant said, U.S. Army what the fuck moments, Terminal Lance, Air Force Airman NCO, Senior NCO, the Navy subreddit, other outlets. These pages absolutely excoriate bad leaders and bad leadership policies, oftentimes to a point where military units are forced to respond over this backlash, and in many cases, do an about face or a reverse course or a 180 or whatever fucking terminology you want to use. The comment sections of countless posts are littered with salty veterans who say things like, glad I got my DD-214, or I'm so glad I'm out, or and the military wonders why retention and reenlistment is so low. There's a fucking reason that this is the most common type of post. It's not because this is the vocal minority. And this stupid fucking idea about using Charlie Kirk's death as ample evidence that the military has some of the dumbest fucking leaders. More to the point, this whole concept is transparently desperate. It's exploiting a sensitive event for a potentially controversial purpose, military recruitment, which is viewed by many people on the left and the right as being insensitive, polarizing, and an absolutely fucking stupid idea because Charlie Kirk never served.
The goal here is to look at whether they can use Charlie Kirk's legacy as essentially a national call to service.
Why would you try to appeal to authority or patriotism by leveraging an individual's legacy without clear relevance to military service? I mean, I readily acknowledge that honoring legacies can absolutely be inspiring, like Medal of Honor recipients, for example. And recruitment should focus on the values and objectives of military service itself rather than the association with specific individuals, especially those that never served. Who the fuck are we trying to recruit? Conservatives? Are we trying to build an army of Christo-fascists?
Of course, the Trump administration loves to talk about how recruiting for the military has skyrocketed under Donald Trump, but the reality is they are looking at the possibility that that could start falling in the coming years.
And here's the other big problem with this: misinformation. True to form, the fucking Trump administration can't ever admit that its policies are disastrous, ineffective, and or unpopular. The claim about military recruitment booming under Trump lacks specific data or context that supports it. And the statement about future declines is not going to be solved by the reputation of a dead man. Recruitment trends are influenced by fucking many factors, including economic conditions, policy changes, social status. And how many people do you know that say, I joined the military because economic reasons? Doesn't have to be anything specific, like, I couldn't afford to go to college, for example. The economy sucks right now. And the economy and the cost of college has always been one of the biggest ways that the military has recruited people into its ranks since Vietnam. If you can't even get recruits under Trump's shit-awful economy, you're really fucking sucking at life. And let's address the other elephant in the room, shall we? Using the military against American civilians in cities across the United States. Even if it's only the National Guard right now who are out there picking up trash. We live in an age where a kid on the street can whip out his cell phone and record a video of the National Guarders picking up trash in Washington, D.C. and send it to thousands of his recruitment-aged buddies, and every last one of them is probably going to say, nah, fuck that. 2 and 3 whole generations of veterans telling their kids, yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend joining the military anymore or right now. That is a powerful deterrent. When you lose the hearts and minds of the nation's veterans because of your attacks on POWs and our fallen warriors, standing on a grave at Arlington National Cemetery, flashing his stupid peace sign and fucking thumbs up, you shit-eating grin, as a photo op, attacking Gold Star families, reducing our benefits, cutting our disability pay, then using a guy who never served is absolutely scraping the bottom of the barrel. That reeks of desperation. That's my time for today. For Sons of Liberty, I'm Big Sarge, and all y'all Charlie Kirk motherfuckers can move out and draw fire. 2 claps and a Rick! Woo!
And now it's time for the throw punch!